Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Running Code, humor in South Texas law enforcement. I'm your host, T-Bone. My partner, J-Man, by my side as always.
What's going on?
Morning. It's another beautiful Sunday,
Sure is.
10 in the a.m. It's 80 degrees outside instead of the last week of hell with all the storms we had through the region. It was horrible. This has been a beautiful thing. Everybody, sorry we're taking so long. I don't know if you can tell, but this is a new studio. It looks almost identical. We made it that way. We wanted to keep it the same, but it is a whole brand new studio. We had to work some kinks out, things we had to do. So we didn't quite get where we wanted to right away. So we're sorry for the delay, but we're going to put you out some episodes now, and hopefully they'll become more regular. We're working on it, guys. For those that want to get a hold of us by email, it's runnincode2023@gmail.com. That's RUNNINCODE2023@gmail.com. Or you can leave comments on the Facebook or the the YouTube videos. You can leave comments on the YouTube videos. Just remember, if you put it on YouTube, it's public and we can make fun of you if it's stupid. If you email us privately and you want us to talk about something, that's fine. We won't release your name unless you give us permission to, or your agency unless you give us permission to. So, it has been busy. This job's not getting any safer. Cops are prone to mistakes. We do dumb shit. We don't use our head. We don't think. We get excited. We stop to think about the law and what the law actually means versus what our pride says we should do. And this is where law officers are getting in trouble lately. So we decided today we're going to talk about the difference between reasonable suspicion, probable cause, and everything that goes in between to make that decision of what we should or should not do.
Yeah.
And a lot of officers are ego driven. We
Yeah.
know that. They're ego driven, like how, this guy's not listening to me and I'm a cop and he's not respecting my authority. And you brought up a case that happened in Florida, which could have happened anywhere and probably does happen everywhere. And we get manipulated by the public.
Yeah.
The public wants us to do certain things, and so they'll tell us certain lies to get us to do certain things. And here's the thing: the public can do that. There's nothing we can really do to stop them, but it's up to you as an officer to ask questions.
Yeah.
Now we are beholden to what we were told, the information we have at the time we make contact. It's okay.
Right.
That's totality so far. What was I told by dispatch? What did I see with my own two eyes? And what was I told by the complainant or the victim or the witness? But you have to ask questions. You're not going to base someone's freedom solely on someone's say-so without any kind of investigating. You're not just going to be, oh, you did it, yeah, turn around, put your hands behind your back. So tell us about the case in Florida. Tell us what happened.
Yeah. So it's a common call that law enforcement anywhere gets. At night, suspicious vehicle parked on the street. And there could be one or two persons or multiple people inside the vehicle. For this specific incident, there were only two people in the car. And these two people happened to be asleep in the vehicle. Now, it was on a public roadway. The caller told dispatch that they wanted the responding, I want to say it was deputies of sheriff's office. They wanted the responding deputies to do a welfare check on the occupants of the vehicle. The caller was familiar with the vehicle, not the occupants, but the vehicle, because he'd seen the vehicle parked on that neighborhood street a couple of times. They even mentioned they're there at around midnight, but then they're gone around 6 or 7 in the morning. As far as I could tell from the video or anything information that was released, there was no criminal activity connected to the occupants of the car. So the responding deputy gets out there and she's contacting them, and the people inside the car are just like, well, we're not really doing anything. We're just asleep. And they were a little upset because of the knock on the window. That's neither here or there. You got to wake somebody up. Going to knock a little hard. They may be offended by that, but hey, you got to wake up. So at some point, she asked them for their ID to identify them. The people in the car said, no, we're not going to identify because we didn't commit a crime or articulate a crime. And she's like, well, the crime is I'm investigating. The crime is we're investigating a call. We got a call for suspicious behavior. So that was the crime that she articulated was we got a call for suspicious behavior. Now, mind you, the dispatcher didn't get. No, I'm not saying it's the dispatcher's fault, but the caller didn't articulate any behavior that was suspicious. According to the caller, he just wanted a welfare check for a car that's usually there around midnight and gone before 6 a.m.
So the deputy was telling them that the crime was that they refused an ID?
No. So she said initially there is a crime. We are investigating we got a call for suspicious behavior. And the crime that they detained them for was failure to identify. So
Did they arrest him?
I want to say the guy got arrested. I think they arrested both of them for failure ID because neither one of them wants ID. Now the way that I took it is like just like this straight up. I'm just being straight up because neighborhoods, like certain neighborhoods, certain people that live in a neighborhood, a HOA or whatever, they like to manipulate the call, or they like to say certain things that may be truth adjacent, or they omit certain things.
I love when you use that term.
To get us to get out there and to do things for the neighborhood or the HOA. And it's just funny. Like we're not here to be manipulated by some resident, some neighbor that doesn't like the fact that people are asleep in their car. You wanna do something charitable? How about you give them some money to go to a hotel room? Or better yet, since you want to be in their business, why don't you let them go sleep in your spare guest room?
Why not?
Won't do that.
Yeah, no. And so J-Man's absolutely right. We get manipulated all the time. People will call us, misrepresent facts because someone told them, hey, tell them this, tell them this. Kind of like every dog is a pit bull. Every dog is an aggressive pit bull, no matter what kind of breed it is. It's always a pit bull because they think we're going to come running with shotguns because it's a pit bull. And I have found in my long experience that pit bulls are about the least aggressive dog. They'll beat you to death with their tail, or they just want to lick you. They just want love. That's all they want. It's the little chihuahua bastards that are the ones that'll bite your ass. But it's always a pit bull because they say that to manipulate us to get us there quicker.
Right.
They're like, solve my problem. I'm too scared of this dog. And you walk up and the dog's like, hi. We get manipulated. It's up to you as officers to ask questions. So you get with the complainant if you can and go, hey, so what's going on? This, and this, and this, and this, and this. Okay, well, let me go talk to them and just see what they got to say. Okay, you make no promises. Never make promises. Don't ever make promises. Just, okay, let me see what I got. Let me see what I can do. Don't ever, I promise to arrest them. I promise to get them out of here. If they're not doing anything wrong and it's not illegal, well, now, if there's a city ordinance, let's say you're in the city. Let's say Orlando. And let's say Orlando has a city ordinance that says it's illegal to sleep in a car on public street.
Yeah.
At that point, they can be ID'd. And they can be arrested for failure to ID. Because they're breaking an ordinance, which is a law. It's a city ordinance. Maybe not a state law, but a city ordinance. But let's say the reverse is true. Let's say there's no such law. Let's say there's no law in the books, and there isn't, at least in Texas, as far as I know. And I know Texas law pretty damn well. Nothing says you can't sleep on a public street. Park legally up against the curb, sleep in your car. Nothing legal about it at all.
Nope.
So let's say, okay, so let's do the scenario that you had. Caller states, they're suspicious. I've seen the car there before. I want a welfare check. Okay, fine. You walk up on the car. Before you wake them up, always a good idea to look in the car, make sure you don't have any, like he's sitting there with a gun in his chest like this. Yeah. I've seen that. Might not be the best idea to startle them. You don't want to air horn them and kind of wake them up. Hey, put the gun down, Look around, see what you got. They could be ODing. It's Florida. They could be ODing. Yeah. In which case now it's a medical emergency and you got to get them out of that car, start the Narcan, start EMS. But let's just say, put all that aside. You walk up on the car, you look in the car, run the plate, make sure it's not stolen first. Make sure the car's not stolen. Okay, car's not stolen. Maybe it doesn't have insurance, but it's not coming up stolen. Okay. Walk up on the car, look in the interior, they're sleeping. You don't see anything suspicious or illegal in plain view, because remember, plain view doctrine. You look, okay, I don't see nothing. Okay, let's wake them up. Ding, 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 ding. Hey, I'm Officer so-and-so, Deputy so-and-so, Trooper so-and-so. Hey, the reason why I'm here is the neighbors called. They were concerned about you. And that's how I would approach it. Like, hey, they were just concerned about you. Want to make sure you're okay. It lowers their defensive level. Yeah. Just say, hey, I'm just checking on you, all right. And they'll probably be irritated if you wake them up. Okay, but you have a job to do. Make sure they're okay first, foremost, that they're not dying or dead. And then just, hey, is there any reason y'all are parked here? And if they say, this is where we sleep, or we got a friend there, but he doesn't let us stay inside the house with them, or whatever the case may be, you can ask them for ID all day long. You can ask. All right, hey, do you mind if I get y'all's ID, just run you and get you on your way? Man, fuck you. We ain't doing anything illegal. And if they're not doing anything illegal, that's it.
Right.
You cannot force someone to identify when they've broken no law. Mm-hmm. If you don't even have reasonable suspicion at a minimum that they're breaking the law, you don't. You can't let your pride, you don't want to talk to me and I'm a cop. You see this badge, you're going to talk to me. It doesn't work that way. And that's how officers end up in case laws. Because they let their egos write a check that their ass can't cash. It's not personal. They have the rights. You have the same rights. Mm-hmm. Even I, as a police officer off duty, if I don't want to talk to a police officer on duty and I've not done anything illegal or wrong and I'm not being detained, I don't have to talk to him either.
Yeah.
Now, our policy for our agency requires us to identify ourselves as police officers,
Right.
but that's our agency policy.
Right.
But some agencies don't have that policy.
Yeah.
If I'm off and I've done nothing wrong and I'm not walking around behind a closed business with a crowbar at 2 a.m., I don't have to identify to you. Now, am I going to be a dick about it? No. Am I going to identify? Yeah, because I've done nothing wrong. I have nothing to, I have nothing to worry about. There's nothing that, I'm going to get in trouble for. But at the same time, I don't have to identify. And if I feel like exercising that right, I can exercise that right.
Mm-hmm.
So in your scenario from that story in Florida, they had the right to go, no, I don't want ID. I've done nothing wrong.
Literally, there was nothing wrong.
Yeah.
It was funny when other responding officers came on scene, they were asking them to articulate a crime, but they couldn't. But they kept going back to, well, now it's fair to ID because I'm telling you to give me your ID.
Gosh, if only it actually worked that way. It doesn't work that way.
So it's funny because a lot of this was agency policy.
Yep.
A lot of agency policies will require their officers to identify everyone they come into contact
Okay.
with. And
But that's in a legal context.
Yes.
So what they're saying is if you have a legal reason to run them, you shall run them.
Yes.
Just like we have a legal right. If we have a legal right to run you, we shall run you. Like we don't through TCIC, NCIC, we will run you. But that's only if we have a legal reason to, or they freely give their information and there's been no crime.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference. So people mistake that. My policy says I have to ID everybody within the confines of the law and your limits as a police officer. That's where you can ID. Traffic stop, 100%. You're going to be ID'd. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Any lawful traffic stop, whether even it's a pedestrian jaywalking,
Yeah.
you have the legal right to ID them. They're breaking the law. That's legal. But if you have a consensual encounter and they refuse to ID, you cannot force them to ID. It's a consensual encounter. They can say, fuck off, I don't talk to the police. Have a great day, sir. And that's the end of the conversation. The minute you say, stop, wait, you're detaining them.
Yep.
At that point, because a reasonable person would believe, hey, this officer in uniform, and he told me stop. Do I feel like I'm free to leave now? So that's the thing. And for those that don't know Jax, who have seen it before, he is liking the new studio, and I think he's looking for a place to maybe mark. So we're keeping a weather eye on him.
He's actually trying to eat that tack, which would be pretty bad
don't
for
eat
his
that.
immediate health.
Yeah, please don't do that. So you have rights. You have Fourth Amendment rights. And under law enforcement, the majority of the stuff we deal with is Fourth Amendment.
Yes.
That's the majority. Search and seizure. Fifth Amendment comes into play. Sixth, eighth, those come into play as well. But fourth is your top amendment. Oh, he misses his Uncle J-Man. Yeah. He's very expressive. He definitely wants to be part of the cast. He does not like to be left out. He loves him some Uncle J-Man, I'll tell you. This dog loves everybody, but he loves his Uncle J-Man. So, officers get themselves in trouble because they either do not understand their policy or they do not understand their legal limits under case law. And there is so many case laws on these subjects about stop and ID, Terry stops,
Yes.
what you can do, your legal limits, so on and so forth, that they let their ego override their common sense, or I'm a cop and you're going to listen to me because I'm the man or I'm the woman, and you can't do that. It's not personal. You have a job to do. And it may bite your pride a little bit. It may bite your pride a little bit because you didn't get your way. Yeah, we don't need thumbtacks, okay? I'm not spending money on vet bills. I'm sorry you didn't get to eat your thumbtack. That just sucks. You'll live. So, in essence, in those situations where you have a call for service, okay, so you have a legal reason to be there. So let's walk this back. You have a legal reason to be there.
Yes.
Dispatch is dispatch you to something. So that's your legal reason for being there. You didn't just drive up on it and decide to get nosy, which you can do. Nothing wrong with that either. You get there, you ascertain there is no actual crime against parked on a public roadway. And again, this is going to be state specific or agency policy specific or city ordinance specific. But let's say overall there is nothing in policy or law of your state or jurisdiction that says it's illegal to park on a public street and sleep. None. You walk up on the car. How you doing? I'm Officer so-and-so. The reason why I'm talking to you is XYZ. Just make sure y'all are okay. And I would honestly start with that. Just making sure y'all are okay. Because if you bring everything back to safety first, you get a lot more leeway because you're making it about safety first. You're making sure they're medically okay, they're not hurt, or that he's not holding her against her will, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You ask a few investigatory questions. Now, bear in mind, pay attention to the totality of everything going on. If you're trying to talk to her and he won't let her talk,
Yeah. then that's a problem.
That might be a red flag. Maybe want to start another unit. Maybe pull her out of the car and go, ma'am, are you okay? Like, get her away from the car and go, ma'am, are you okay? Do you want to be here? You might be surprised. You might have actually had that's ex-boyfriend, that's ex-girlfriend. And he told her, don't you say a word, and you ain't going nowhere. Could be a kidnapping. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But if she's like, oh, I'm fine. I need my boyfriend. We're just sleeping. That's about it. I mean, you have to take her to her word unless you have something you can articulate that says, no, I really believe she's in danger, and I don't believe she's telling me the truth. But you better be able to articulate that. Yeah. Because you go yanking him out of the car and you cuff him. And she's like, I told you I want to be here. I want to be here. It's okay. And you keep forcing the issue, you could have a problem. Mm-hmm. The victim is telling you she's fine, and she's making it clear that she wants to be there. Well, she has the right to associate with whoever she wants. So you can't impede that. They have rights. Right. So there's a little more leeway in juveniles. Again, that's going to be policy specific, jurisdiction specific. Yeah. You may have a little more leeway. If there's curfews, let's say there's curfew wherever you live, where juveniles can't be out 11 at night till 6 in the morning or whatever it is, okay, and they're clearly juveniles. Hey, y'all ain't supposed to be out. That's a little different. Yeah. Okay, but these are grown adults, grown-ass men, grown-ass women. They have the right to park on a street at 2 a.m. and sleep if they want to. Nothing legal about it. It may look odd, but there's nothing illegal about it. If you can articulate anything illegal or dangerous, you're putting yourself in your career at risk right there when you start letting your ego write a check your ass can't cash. So reasonable suspicion. You walk up on the car, reasonable suspicion can go up to probable cause, or reasonable suspicion can turn down to nothing. Right. It can go up and down depending on the circumstances that you're walking up on what you see, smell, hear, what they tell you. Yeah. Don't taste. Don't That's taste. The one sense you don't use in law enforcement. We don't taste anything. You see, smell, hear, feel. Don't taste. Don't. Yeah, it's Coke. Don't do that. Don't touch anything you don't have to. And this is where you learn as a cop early. Gloves. And don't touch shit you don't have to touch. Okay? You don't need a staph infection, hepatitis, get stuck by a needle. Don't put your hands where your eyes ain't been first. Mm-hmm. I never ever look under seats and just, let me just jam a hand into the seat. No, I get down and look under that seat with a flashlight before I go jam my hand into the seat. I've found razors, needles. I'm not getting cut. I'm not getting stuck. I'm not bringing crap home to my family. Yeah. I'm not going to end up withered and fucking dying of hepatitis or a major staph infection or HIV or anything else because, it's all good. They look clean. No one's clean until you confirm they're clean, okay? And that's just getting that habit. Even if you pull over with the millionaire in the Mercedes, okay, you want to be in the habit of doing it in everything you do so it's a muscle memory. Yeah. So you don't ever, that one day you forget and you just jam your hand into that 2013 Nissan Altima and you stick a fucking needle in your hand. Mm-hmm. And now you're, oh shit. Yeah. You have a serious problem now. One, you're not going to be raw dogging your girl for a while because those tests got to come back clean first and you don't bring shit home to your family. And unfortunately in this job, you can actually expose that kind of shit on the job. Yeah. Most people don't get gonorrhea from a toilet seat. You can't say you got, I got it from a toilet seat, honey. You're a liar. But you can get stuck and get hepatitis, HIV from needles. Yeah. So don't touch shit you don't have to. You want to be real careful. If you got to put on gloves to handcuff somebody, put on gloves. That's why I always carry them right here in my car. Pull them out, put them on. Hold on, I'll be with you in a minute. Hold on. And some people get offended. Hey, I have to go home at the end of the day. And I don't need to get exposure protocol and go to the hospital. And hey, your test came back. You're like, oh shit. Okay, either your career might be ruined depending on what it is, mm-hmm. Or you may just be really sick for a while depending on what it is. But why take the risk? Yeah. So, but we got a little off topic. Reasonable suspicion, probable cause. So let's do some scenario basing on that one. Mm-hmm. Broad daylight. Guy's in a hard hat and a construction vest, walking past the construction site holding a crowbar and a sledgehammer. Suspicious?
No.
No. 2 a.m. behind closed businesses, dark hoodie, dark clothing, bag, and a crowbar.
Very suspicious.
You have reasonable suspicion to stop and talk to that guy?
Absolutely.
All day long. Why? Time, place, location.
And behavior. Things associated with the behavior, too.
That's right. Things you can articulate that, hey, 1, nobody lives back here. It's an industrial area. Mm-hmm. 2, dark clothing. 3, burglary tools, sledgehammer, crowbar. Those burglary tools. They can be. Mm-hmm. Tools can be used like guns for any purpose, good or bad. Yeah. Okay? But it's time, place, location, activity. What is he doing? What time is it? Where are we at? But if there's somebody standing in their driveway with a crowbar just standing there in their driveway at 2 a.m. Odd, but is it legal?
No.
I'm like, okay, it's weird. You can say, hey, sir, you okay? You all right? Yeah, I'm good. I just got home from work. Okay. You live here? Fuck you. I don't want to talk to you. And they go inside the garage. You got to play it by ear. But at the end of the day, if they've done nothing illegal, you can't force the issue. The minute you say stop, you're detaining them.
Yeah.
They don't feel they're free to go. By the very virtue of you being in uniform with a police car, they don't feel free to leave when you tell them stop. It's like turn on the lights.
Yeah.
Do you feel you're free to drive away at that point? No, you're not. You got to be careful in your verbiage.
Yeah.
You can say, sir, I would like to speak to you if I may. Fuck you. I don't talk to the police. All right, sir. Have a great day.
Yeah.
If you have nothing illegal, nothing even that rises to reasonable suspicion at a minimum, call it a day. All right. Well, sir, you have a great night. Fuck you. All right, sir, you take care and drive off. Just let it go. It ain't personal. And some people just don't have to talk to the cops. And that is what it is, too. Okay. We'd love it if everybody freely spoke to us at every time, but they have rights.
Yeah.
And the forefathers that wrote the Constitution were very clear about that. And that every Supreme Court from that point on has made it clear. If they've done nothing wrong, they do not have to speak to you. And you don't have the right to just stop them if they don't want to speak to you if they've done nothing illegal. We don't articulate to skew the facts.
Yeah.
We articulate what the facts are as we know them, what we see, smell, hear, and feel. That's what we articulate. And if you got nothing, don't let your ego cost you, your job, and your city or your agency money.
Especially just to get the ID.
Yeah.
Especially if it's not there. I mean,
Okay.
There's different ways that you can try to even get somebody's name, even if it's a first name. Well, just say, hey, well, my name is Deputy So-and-so. Here's my card. If you need anything throughout the night, just let me know. But hey, can you mind if I just get your first name so I introduce myself to you?
Sometimes they will.
So, I mean,
And
something.
sometimes, because the
Something.
politeness factor kicks in when you're being polite, like, hey, what's your name? It's Jimmy. Okay, Jimmy. Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Officer So-and-so, Deputy So-and-so. I'm just making sure y'all are okay. Ma'am, what's your first name? Oh, I'm Alice or Annie or whatever. Okay, well, look, I just want y'all to be safe. If they're willing, do you mind if I have your last name? Why? Did I do anything wrong? No. I'm just asking. You can ask anything you want. They don't have to answer.
Yeah.
If they do, great. It's kind of like traffic stops. You can't force the passengers to ID unless they're breaking the law. If you see that passenger wasn't wearing a seatbelt, they have to ID.
Yeah.
You're going to issue them a citation or a warning or whatever enforcement action you're going to take. Then, yes, you can make the passenger ID. But if passengers have done nothing wrong, you cannot force them to ID. You can ask them.
Yeah.
You cannot force them. So the way I would approach it, like, hey, man, you mind if I get your ID? And 9 out of 10, that worked. Okay, and they hand it to you. Then you get ones that, wait, let me have that back. Hold on, real quick, just write their name and date of birth down, hand it back. What's wrong with that? Write down the name and date of birth, just hand it back. Here you go. But you already got the info now.
Yeah.
Okay? But if they go, why? I don't want to do to you. Well, why not? You doing something wrong? No. They may have a warrant, who knows? Or maybe they just don't want to talk to you. But you can't let your ego, well, why don't you want to talk to me? What are you concerned about? Are you breaking the law? Those old tricks are played out. Like, stop.
And I don't know, there's just too many too many lawsuits and case laws that come across where we don't have a reason to ID somebody and it bites us.
But we're going to force it.
It bites us in the ass in the end. It's like, well, the city's paying out the money for it. The county's paying out the money for it.
Okay, well,
Shouldn't be the way to look at it.
If you keep costing your agency money, they may stop paying out for it, and you got a problem. Because the fastest way to introduce change to a law enforcement agency is make them spend money on lawsuits, and you'll see what kind of response you'll start getting. They don't want to pay money. That's the whole point, is not to pay money.
Yeah.
And a lot of officers have cost their agencies and their cities and their counties and their states money because they made a foolish decision. They pushed it. Now the agency's on the hook for that. If officers understood their legal limits, they would cause themselves a lot less pain and heartache.
Yeah.
They let their ego get the best of them, or they're unfamiliar with the law, or they don't know how to apply the law. And sadly, a lot of officers don't know how to apply the law, or even what the law really is. You will hear some wild shit, and I've heard some wild shit from other officers. I'm like, hey, where'd you hear that shit? Oh yeah, it's in. No, it's not. Why, are you serious? I remember one telling me, Terry versus Ohio gave you the right to go in their pockets. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Have you ever read Terry v. Ohio? You might want to read that one. It says you can pat down for weapons.
Yeah.
And that's only if you have reasonable suspicion at a minimum to detain them or stop them. You can't just walk up to random people on the street and go, I think you got a weapon, put your hands on the wall. Don't do that. That's a seizure.
Yeah.
Don't do that, because they don't feel, again, they're free to go.
Yeah.
So it's all about, can this person say, I did not feel free to leave? Dude, I did not feel like I could walk away. If they can say, I didn't feel like I could walk away, you have a problem. And so unless you had a legal reason to go, you ain't going nowhere. You are hanging your ass out there. Now, a lot of cops get lucky 99% of the time. The people that end up don't complaining, or they just go on their way, or they do force them to ID, and it comes out they have a warrant, and the person never says a word. But that person can actually come after your ass, because even if you had a warrant, it doesn't matter. You illegally detained them, and you illegally identified them.
Yeah.
At that moment in time, unless you knew that that person had a warrant, because, hey, this guy's the bolo roll call. Hey, if anyone sees this guy, he's got a felony warrant. You run into him, hook him.
Yeah.
Unless you have prior knowledge that that person was wanted, you can't just walk up to him and go, give me your ID.
Well, yeah, let's talk about prior knowledge, because that also aids in reasonable suspicion.
It does.
And it can be a determining factor for probable cause.
It can.
Information that is known to a law enforcement officer prior to their arrival for a call or making contact with the subject. It's perfect. Especially, I love it if it's detailed. If the information you get is detailed.
When you get a good call taker that asks good questions from the caller, it's great. Especially when they give their name, their date of birth, and when the caller goes, oh yeah, he's got a felony warrant for aggravated robbery, and this is his name and date of birth. You run it, oh yeah. Now we have probable cause to arrest this person based on the information we have. Most agencies comes up with the mugshot of that person too, if they have one in the system.
Yeah.
So when you get there, oh, there he is. Come here. No, you're not free to leave. Come here. I'm leaving. No, you're not. Come here. Because based on your prior knowledge, you knew he had a warrant. That's legal. 100% legal. Absolutely. You have prior knowledge, and it paid off dividends. You hook them, we're out of here. Unless there's an on-site charge as well, and then you got to deal with that. Maybe there's a family violence, and you're still going to investigate that. But he's already under arrest as soon as you get there because you knew that he had a warrant, and you had a picture like, that's him.
Yep.
You're good all day. You're good all day, 100%. You're good all day long. And again, officers get really lucky because the people that they forced ID that turns out they didn't have to, but they have warrants and they take them in, don't say anything. But they can file a criminal complaint against you for illegally detaining them and IDing them. Yes, they had a warrant. And nominally, judges don't care how that person got before the bench.
Yeah, for the warrant, yeah.
But when it goes to that trial, they call that officer in. Did you illegally identify my client? Now, does it change the validity of the warrant? No. That warrant was already written and that crime was already done. But you illegally ID'd somebody. And even with a warrant, they still have the right, if they are not being probable cause or detained for reasonable suspicion at minimum or probable cause, they have the right to tell you to fuck off and walk away. Unless you got that prior knowledge that, oh, that's Jimbo. And Jimbo got a warrant. So you have to know your limits. Now, in our agency, they'll every now and then they'll put out a bolo. Typically now it's by email. They put out an email, hey, this person, if you run into this person, armed and dangerous, got a warrant, blah, blah, whatever. But you'll also get warning bolos about people just say, hey, caution, but this is not probable cause to arrest or detain. It'll say it right at the bottom of the bolo. There is no warrant for this subject. Develop your own probable cause is what it will say.
Yeah.
And that's where you better read those. Now, if it comes out the warrant, caution, has an active warrant for aggravated robbery, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you're good all day. That is good faith information you've got. Now, if you ran into that guy, you might want to run it again to be damn sure the warrant didn't get withdrawn.
Yeah.
Or you got hooked 2 days ago, the warrant got cleared and you got bonded out. So be sure. But if you have no other resources to do that, you can go off the last information you knew and you can articulate, this is the last information I knew. Okay, but in the age of radios or phones, you can call dispatch, hey, run this dude again, make sure that warrant's not been cleared or voided.
Right.
And they go, oh, no, it's still active. Okay, hey, come here, Jimbo. My lawyer took care of that. I don't know how many times I heard that. My lawyer took care of that. No, your lawyer didn't take care of that. And then half the time when I've been told that, I've actually talked to their lawyers. Like, they told me you took care of it. No, I told them we had to go to court to take care of it. So I thought. So I've actually had that conversation with lawyers. So officers, don't take that one with a huge grain of salt. Another one, you'll get we get a condition of bond.
Yeah.
Let's say it's a family violence arrest. And the judge puts down a condition of bond. No contact with so-and-so. But let's say that the charges got completely dropped.
Yeah.
That bond condition might not be good anymore. You have to call and verify it.
Had that happen before.
Yeah, I've had it happen before too. We're like, no, dude, I know what it says here. I know what you're saying, but hey, I got to go off with the computer. And you can go there. You can detain them based on the return you're getting. Yes, you can. You can detain them.
Yes.
Hook them, pat them for a weapon, not go in their pockets because they're detained, not arrested. Just pat them down for weapons. And then you call dispatch or you call pretrial or you call the courthouse You may not be able to, depending on the shift you're on, and just say, hey, I've hooked this dude. This is what he's telling me. And he's telling me that case was dropped and dismissed. What's the status on that case? And if they go back and go, oh, yeah, case was dismissed, the bond condition is probably no longer valid. And then, hey, man, sorry. Hey, we got to get that removed. All right, you need to contact the courts, or she needs to contact the courts, or whatever. He needs to contact the courts and have that removed. Mm-hmm. Okay, just bear in mind, it's still active in the system. We have to go off the information we're being given by our CAD, because that's TCIC and NCIC. But you're good, man. But I'd recommend that tomorrow, first thing, have your girlfriend call over there and get that shit pulled. Okay?
Right. Because your suspicion has been dispelled.
Your suspicion, thank you. It's almost like you're a cop. Suspicion, everything that happens either raises the level of suspicion or dispels the level of suspicion of criminal activity. Raise it or lower it, depending on what you're hearing, seeing. They're saying information on the CAD, information on witnesses, information from the victim, the complainant, the suspect himself. Because you do have to take what they're telling you into account as well. I'm not saying believe it, but take it into account.
Yeah.
And if the suspect's statement is matching the victim or the witness or the complainant, he may be telling the truth.
Yeah.
You have to ask these questions. You don't just ignore the suspect and ask everybody else. Mm-hmm. Maybe you should go open the door. Hey, man, this is what they're telling me. Like, no, dog, that ain't what happened. I just got here 10 seconds ago. It's on you want to see my phone? Yeah, if you can show me proof, great, please do. Why arrest somebody that doesn't need to be arrested? Why? I don't need to see that. They're telling me this and you're going downtown. Why? Where's the probable cause in that?
Yeah.
Did you ask him? Did you ask him to show any kind of proof? Family violence. Always ask the suspect or the victim, are there any cameras in the house? A lot of houses have cameras.
Yeah.
And say, are there any cameras? Oh, yeah, I got a Ring camera right there in the kitchen. Can I see that footage? If the suspect being calm and compliant, unhook him or put his cuffs in front, hand him his phone. Can you show me? And you watch the video and there was no actual domestic violence that occurred. You were about to ruin this dude's night. He may get fired from his job, depending on what he does for a living, and take him downtown for what? Because she lied? What's wrong with investigating? Mm-hmm. What's wrong with asking questions? You're going to save a lot of trouble and heartache down the road for everybody if you just ask questions. Ask for confirmation. I was like, I ain't fucking talking to you. Fuck off. Well, now all you got is the victim's statement, which you can use because he's refusing to cooperate.
Yeah.
She's got injuries. He's refusing to talk. She tells you what happened. That's all you got, and there's no other footage. You don't have a choice. Mm-hmm. It'll all get hashed out in trial.
Yeah.
You arrest them on probable cause. They convict on proof beyond a reasonable doubt. That's how that works. We're not here to develop proof beyond a reasonable doubt. It's great if you can get it on the scene. Yeah. But juries or a bench trial, a judge, ultimately decides what proof beyond a reasonable doubt is. Not you.
Yeah.
The law says you shall make an arrest based on X, Y, Z. You shall make an arrest or will make an arrest or may or whatever. Shall, may, or will, whatever. Shall means you have no choice. May means you have discretion, depending on the situation. But ultimately, they take the ride, and the district attorney's office decides that they're going to take the rap. Mm-hmm. You do your job, articulate what you're doing, write it down like you're supposed to, and you'll be okay. Yeah. Step outside those boundaries, and you could be a Supreme Court ruling with your name on it. Yeah. Officer so-and-so did X, Y, Z on the night of blah, 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 when you read the synopsis. And you got to kind of wonder, at the time the officer did it, did they think they were doing anything wrong?
Right, which
they may not.
The answer is no.
The answer is usually no. They didn't realize they're doing something wrong. Like, no, I thought I could do that. Here's what officers don't realize. Let's say you make an arrest, and he gets convicted. Then he goes to an appeal. And the Court of Criminal Appeals says, that was good. We think it was good. And then it goes to your circuit court. And they say, no, we think it was good. And then it goes to Supreme Court. Supreme Court says, no, that was bad. You're not going to be in trouble. Mm-hmm. You were doing what you had to do at the time. Maybe it wasn't a case law yet, or maybe there was nothing definitive and firm yet. But you're not going to be in trouble. They're not going to come back 4 years later after you hit the Supreme Court and go, you're fired and you're in trouble. No, you're not. It's going to be a warning now from that point on. Don't do this. Here's a case law. Don't do this. So officers, oh man, if it goes to Supreme Court, I'm going to lose my job. No, you're not going to lose your job. Yeah. Okay. You didn't know at the time. Now, that's for stuff the officer didn't know. Now, if you did know, then it probably won't make it out of the court you're in. Mm-hmm. They're gonna be like, you knew better. According to Graham versus Connor, you absolutely knew, or Barnes versus Felix, or Terry v. Ohio, or whatever the hell it is, you did know. That might be a different story. Mm-hmm. But if it's something that hadn't nobody run across before and it makes it all the way to Supreme Court, you're not going to be in trouble. Basically, just say, here's the case law, don't do it again. Yeah. Okay. You need to read your case laws, and if you go to Justia, U.S. Justia, you can look up case laws by category.
They have briefs every year.
Yeah.
Like literally,
look them up.
If you look at 2026, at least, and I use Fifth Circuit because Texas is in the Fifth Circuit.
Mm-hmm.
They probably have over 100 briefs.
Mm-hmm. And go
And
through
you
them.
just go
Go
through
through
them.
and read them.
It's all public. You can just read it.
Yep.
And it'll give you the officer.
It'll give you a synopsis of the case.
And then if you go into it yourself, it'll actually open up to what the officer put in his report, because obviously that's the reason that we're all here.
Mm-hmm.
And that way you can look at what the officer saw, what they did, and then they give all these references to other case law that judges are looking at, that defense lawyers are making arguments for, and the argument for that district court or the county or the state, the city, they're all referencing some sort of case laws.
Yeah.
You can highlight them, look them up for yourself, footnote them, and you can continually keep going. Just
pre-existing case laws.
Yeah, just to keep learning. That's kind of how I do it.
So another thing people don't realize is, and I've heard officers say, "Man, if it goes to Supreme Court, I got to go testify." No. Everything that goes to an appeals court from the original court at that point is just transcripts and the trial material. Nobody's going to testify. Defense lawyer's not going to testify. No one's going to testify. It's strictly what was introduced in that trial. All the evidence, the transcripts, everything goes to each appeals court as goes all the way to SCOTUS. Just what happened in the trial. So you're not going to get called down to D.C. to the Supreme Court of the United States. You're not going to get called to Fifth Circuit in New Orleans. You're not going to get called to the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals in Austin. You're not going to get called to the Fourth Criminal Appeals Court. None of that. It's strictly what happened in the trial. So you won't even know until the brief comes out.
Yeah.
And then if you have a good agency that actually keeps track of case laws and monitors that stuff, it comes out with, hey, everybody needs to know this.
Yeah.
Hey, this just changed. Stop doing it immediately. And while they redo the policy to change whatever the Supreme Court has ruled on, or the Circuit Court, or Fifth Circuit Court, or Ninth, Seventh, wherever you're at. Some agencies do that, like LAPD, I know, has a full-time staff that monitors case laws, but they are large enough to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And they update policy like, hey, this changed. We no longer do this now. New policy, in effect, effective immediately. Don't do this based on this, and they'll tell you the case law. Like, don't do this any longer. Okay. But they put that out, and they use like a Power DMS like we use, and I know there's other agencies that use Power DMS. Once you sign, I acknowledge it. You're acknowledging you read it.
Yeah.
So if you do violate it, and it goes to a civil rights violation trial, they're going to, you signed on this date and time that you read that. Well, I didn't really read it. I just clicked it and moved on. Well, it's like signing something. You don't sign something unless you've read it. Once you sign it, you're stating, in effect, I have read this.
Yeah.
You've taken away the ability to say, I didn't know. You took it away as soon as you signed it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, you should have.
Yeah.
So, and that's the part that'll get you in trouble.
That's true.
Every time. So you have reasonable suspicion, mere suspicion, reasonable suspicion, probable cause. Probable cause is the highest level on the streets for us as street cops.
Yes.
Okay, and it's the same thing for the investigators, though, because they filed the case based on probable cause as well, based on all the facts, clues, circumstances, information they had. Is there probable cause to believe this is a tenable case, a case that can be prosecuted, and you turn it over to the DA's office. And you have to turn over everything, including exculpatory evidence. You have to turn over stuff that may clear that person.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I got this and this and this, but I do have this neighbor saying this is what happened as well. You have to add that in there, too. You can't hold it back. Oh, all we got is this. No.
Yeah. It's part of discovery.
Everything. The courts decide it in the end, not you. You do your job, let them decide.
Because if it comes out that
Now you have a
we
problem.
had it on scene,
Now you have a problem.
and the prosecuting attorney didn't know, but the defense attorney found out. Whew,
You have a problem.
Oh boy.
You have a serious problem now.
Boy.
You have a credibility problem.
Yeah.
You have a illegal arrest problem. Or if you're the investigator, you might be on Brady, because you didn't. Brady is about discovery and credibility, and if you didn't divulge something that you knew might clear that person, you got a serious problem. And he's going to sue the shit out of you and your agency, and your agency is going to pull your QI and go, "Oh no, he filed that case. We didn't know." That can go 50-50 on that one. Who's going to end up paying for that one? But you ultimately are going to be you're going to be screwed, blued, and tattooed because you didn't do your job and you knew better. When I first became an investigator, they made it clear: all evidence, everything, all your emails. Because let's say we get an email from somebody that information on the case, I have to copy that email into the case file.
Yeah.
All emails, all photos, all text messages. You have to include every bit of that, and it sucks. But that's how it works. It's called discovery. And the last thing you want is a motion for discovery, and you're missing shit, and the defense lawyer finds it.
Yeah.
Oops. And that gets brought into court. And then you're under oath. Detective, were you told this? Yes. Any reason you didn't discover it or you didn't add it to discovery? Well, I didn't think it was relevant. If it's anything to do with that case, it's relevant. Okay? It's relevant. The way I do it is if I'm going to call a suspect on the phone, because remember, I don't have to Mirandize.
Yeah.
They're on the phone. They can hang up on me any fucking time. I don't have to tell them that either. Everybody knows you can hang up on anybody you don't want to talk to. I can't make you stay on the phone. What I do is I start the recording before I dial the number. I start the recording, dial the number. If it just goes to voicemail, I leave a voicemail. Hey, Detective so-and-so, I'm just calling you concerning XYZ. If you can give me a call back, whatever. I say that, and that gets uploaded as well. Hey, I did try.
Yeah.
Okay? But the last thing you want is when to call, yeah, he got a hold of me, and he said I was this, and this, and this, and this. Oh, no. Call is recorded. Mm-hmm. It's got the date and time on that stamp. And I will say, the date is this, the time is this, and I'm talking to so-and-so concerning case number XYZ, and then I dial the number.
Yeah.
So I'm covering myself. And then where my camera's pointed is also towards my computer that has the date and time on the screen. I do it that way for a fucking reason. I will not be accused of having not called the client or attempted to reach, or the suspect, or attempted to reach out. Yes, I tried to reach out. You don't want to talk to me? You don't have to. And if they don't answer, hey, if they do call me back, I leave my camera nearby. If they do listen to the voicemail and call back, what I'll usually typically do is send a text message. Hey, I just tried to call you. This is Detective so-and-so, and here's why I'm trying to call you. Please call me back. Mm-hmm. That way, if they call back, I start the camera running immediately.
Okay.
And I put them on speaker. Hey, I appreciate you calling me back. The reason I'm calling you is XYZ. The whole conversation is fucking recorded. I will not be accused of withholding anything.
Yeah.
And I've never been accused of it. I've never been accused of that. And nor will I.
Yeah.
I make sure I do my job. You don't want to do your job, I do mine. So this stuff is not personal.
Right.
If you can clear them, I had a felony evading case. I had a feeling that the owner was not the one who ran, because the owner is 75 years old and has a clean record, never been so much as a ticket in his life. Was probably not the car doing 130, or probably not the driver doing 130 away from us. I have to ask.
Right.
Maybe it was, but the suspicion kind of lowered due to age, criminal history. By
Right.
75, no criminal history, not even a ticket.
Yeah. No.
Probably not a turd. In this case, this guy had been arrested like 40 years ago for possession of marijuana. Like, dude, like that's 40 years ago.
Right.
It's not relevant now.
Right.
So I get to the house, knock on the door. The guy answers, "Hey, sir, I'm Detective so-and-so. Hey, do you own a white, but whatever it was, I'm not going to give the details, but he's like, yeah, I do. I said, you know where it was, a couple months ago? And I gave him the date and the time, and he goes, well, what's this about? And I told him, well, this is what happened. Ran from one of my patrol units, doing well over 130, running away. They terminated pursuit due to safety, but I got to follow up on that, and we did get the plate number. And he's like, I was out of town. Fuck. He's like, what day was that? And I told him, he goes, I know exactly where I was at. I was out of town. He goes, I will find out who was driving my car. I'm going to talk to my wife, and I will call you back. All right, sir. I appreciate it. That's a reasonable answer.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that, sir? Are you lying to me? No, I got to take him what he's saying at face value unless I prove otherwise. Mm-hmm. And I'm basing it on demeanor and what he's saying and how he's acting. And if there's no deception indicators there, he's not being defensive. Okay, I could probably believe that. Take it with a grain of salt, but let's see what he has to say.
Right.
And lo and behold, he called me back about 3 hours later. Yeah, I know who it was, and here's his information. He apparently, according to my wife, he borrowed the car, and he didn't bring it back till the next day. Thank you, sir. What's his name, date of birth, phone number, address? He gave me all that. I said, all right, sir. I do need to talk to your wife, though. I want to make sure, because not that I'm saying he's a liar.
Right.
But what does the wife have to say? So he goes, oh, she's here. You want to talk to her? Yes, sir, if you don't mind. And I came in and I talked to the wife. She told me everything. Yeah, I let him use the car. He said he needed to borrow it for the night because his car broke down. And then he brought it back the next day. And I didn't know anything has happened. Okay. So got the information. I said, where's the car now? He goes, it's at my office. But I haven't seen him in about a month. Okay. So I called that guy. Hey, and it's all on camera. Hey, it's Detective Treadwell at the sheriff's office. How you doing? The reason I'm calling you is XYZ. Can you tell me what happened? And he told me the truth.
That's good.
He ran. Okay. Sorry.
Now you see how you took a crumb, right? Like it's
I took a bread trail.
Took a bread trail, but all of that reasonable suspicion, it just built and built and built and built until you talked to actual suspect, still had reasonable suspicion,
I made a case.
but you got the admission. That's the probable cause. Like it just how it just all built one on another.
And
But
I
it
can
was built
arti-
through good investigation and good
It was.
question asking.
And I can.
Question asking, not
That's
asking.
right.
Asking.
I built a stair step
Yeah.
all the way to the end.
Yeah.
I talked to this person, this person, this person. They gave me this information. It seemed credible. Now let me call and verify that information. Oh yeah, he admitted it. And he said he'd ran. He said he'd had a couple drinks, didn't want to go to jail, and he took off. And he said I was scared, but he admitted it. And I'd made sure, sir, just to confirm who you are. Is this your date of birth? Can you spell your last name for me? I'm on camera. I'm confirming who they are because I'm obviously not talking to them in person. You do have to be careful with that. Investigators, be careful with that because they're telling you they are who they are. You need to have another alternate way to try to really confirm who they are. So, look, sir, I have your whole social. Can you just give me the last 4 of your social, just to confirm who I'm talking to? And some are like, I'm not giving you that. And some are like, yeah, it's. I rip it off. You just got to try to find a way to confirm who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't just take it at face value. Yeah, I'm talking to so-and-so. Yeah, it's me. I mean, it probably is. But in court, that wasn't me. My best friend had my phone. Is he full of shit? Probably. But it's a valid argument if you can't prove otherwise. And the doubt has to sway towards the suspect. The doubt always sways towards the suspect because, like they used to say, and they still to this day, a judge will tell you, I'd rather let 10 guilty men go than see one innocent man suffer. We're not going to throw an innocent man in prison. If we got to let 10 guilty people go to keep one innocent man out of prison, we'll do that.
Yeah.
And that's just safer for everybody than, nope, y'all guilty, we keep you in there anyway. No, that's not how it works. And in these days, you got all these old cases from 40 years ago. Now they're using DNA and clearing people. And they're getting out of prison after 40 years in prison for a crime they didn't commit. I don't know how I'd even feel about something like that. What do you do? Now you're 65 years old. Your entire life you spent behind bars for something you didn't do. There's no amount of money that can fix that. You're on the downhill slope of life now. Your 20s are gone, 30s, 40s, 50s, like your life was gone. That's a pretty sad thing because someone didn't do their job correctly.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as the perfect crime. There's only imperfect investigators.
Yeah.
We miss stuff. We don't ask questions. A lot of it's laziness. We don't ask questions. We don't get out behind your desk and go ask questions. Go knock on doors. Go to places of work. Find the suspect car. Talk to people. That's how you do this job.
Even on the street level, just ask them more questions.
Ask questions.
Even the calls for the most minor of things, it's still a mini investigation because you're called out there to solve a problem.
It is still an investigation.
Irregardless of how insignificant you believe the problem is, you can't operate like that. So the call for the property line dispute for a stupid trash can, I know you've had it before, I've had it before.
Many times.
Even though in your mind the call is insignificant, it is a waste of your time, a waste of police resources. The person who called doesn't believe that. At least in that moment they don't. Or they feel like they've been slighted or wrong in some way. You just can't operate like that because then, based off of that, then little stupid stuff starts to happen. Little nonsense complaints, right? For things that shouldn't have happened. Or you try to ID a person, they don't want to do it because everybody's angry. Nah. Just go out there and solve the problem and move on.
Yeah.
Really, that's it. Just go solve the problem and move on.
That's all you gotta do.
Because you're not going to not get those calls. So it's it kind of sucks. I'm one trying to be working law enforcement for the high risk stuff. I mean,
no, but even the small stuff can turn into the high stuff real quick. I've had it happen.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest drug busts I ever got was a 911 hang up. 911 hang up, and it turned into an all day affair with the DEA coming out from a 911 hang up.
Yeah. So that's why it's just
because I asked questions.
Ask questions.
Something didn't seem right. Something was definitely not right. And I'm like, guys, I smell the stench of marijuana in this house. And where's the marijuana at? Now, I'm in a house, ultimate level of privacy. I don't have the right to start tearing the house apart just because I smell it. At that point, kick everybody out, get a warrant if you have to get to that level. But the kid was like, it's follow me, sir. Took me upstairs, reached under the bed, pulls out a kilo of cocaine and hands it to me. I was like, what else under that bed? Reaches back under the bed, pulls out another kilo. I'm like, what else is under that bed? At that point, I stopped him and I looked under the bed. I don't even pull out a gun next. I look under the bed. There's 10 pounds of marijuana in individual bags, vacuum sealed. A shit ton of THC, 100% pure THC vials are illegal in the state of Texas to possess. Period. End of story. It's a felony. Okay, everybody out of the house now. Called narcotics. The owner wouldn't give us consent. Fine. Got a search warrant. Came back, tore the house apart.
Hey, did they believe you when they said an occupant in the house handed you a kilo?
Luckily, I had 2 other officers with me. We didn't have cameras back then. Luckily, I had 2 other officers with me because I was like, because he just handed it to me. I'm like, and I looked at him and said, "Is this cocaine?" "Yes, sir." And I just sat there and blinked. Are you fucking stupid? Yeah, detained him, get everybody out. We ended up finding shit tons of money,
That's funny.
like high dollar money. But the jackpot was the ledger. The jackpot was this.
Ledgers are nice.
Who owed, who he bought it from, where he got it, when it came in, just all this intel. Holy shit, that was the gold mine. Not the money, not the coke, the source.
Yeah.
So it ended up being, in the end, it was 3 kilos of cocaine. It was 15 pounds of marijuana we found overall, and like 50 grand cash. But that ledger was the moneymaker right there. That had so much intel in it. It was just page after page. And from what I heard from narcotics and the DEA was that became a gold mine for them. And they actually knocked down a bunch of big dealers of not marijuana, coke, meth, and heroin from that ledger. Mm-hmm. But it was not one hang up, but I just happened to ask for the questions. I could have done what most officers do. Okay, house smells like weed. Who cares? Mm-hmm. Like, hey, who cares? But I just asked. I could have been like, no, get out. What I can do is I can pull everybody out of the house and lock the door and call narcotics and go, here's what I got. Now, what do you want to do with it? And they go, hey, man, it's weed. Don't worry about it. Let him back in. Okay, I'm good. Or they go, hold what you got. I'm on the way. And that's what they did. I'm on the way. And we found an amazing amount of crap by just virtue of asking questions, virtue of being nosy. There's nothing wrong with asking questions.
Yeah.
The smell alone in the state of Texas is probable cause to believe a crime is, or will be committed based on the smell alone, because it is a very unique smell. Now, with some of the legal stuff coming out that kind of smells similar, that's kind of starting to hit some shaky ground.
Yeah.
But you got to go off what you believe to be true at the time based on the totality of circumstances and everything you can articulate why.
Right.
That's it. If you do that, you're on safe ground. Okay, now if the courts throw it out, as long as you did your job to articulate everything, you're fine, you're safe, you're covered, you're good. But if you don't articulate these things, then that's when you start stepping out on a really shaky bridge that may collapse under you because you failed to do something as simple as right.
Yeah.
Because you were lazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good one. But yeah, the most ridiculous shit comes out of nothing calls.
Yeah.
And you'll get a homicide or major narcotics operation or kidnapping, something. And all you had to do is just ask questions. Just ask questions.
Yeah.
Look around. There's nothing wrong looking around. What are you looking at? Just looking around. Can you do that? Sure can. I can look at anything I want to.
Yeah.
I can ask any question I want to. Doesn't mean they have to answer, but I can ask it.
Yeah.
So well, there's limits to that too. Rodriguez versus New York, or New York versus Rodriguez, or sorry, United States versus Rodriguez. Sorry, U.S. versus Rodriguez. Does set limits on what you can ask on traffic stops based on circumstances.
Yeah.
You can't just walk up on a car. You're not free to go. Where are you going? Where are you coming from? What'd you do? What do you have in the trunk? Do you have any guns? Do you have any drugs? You can't do that. Okay, there are limits.
Yeah.
Now, you can ask, where are you going? Where are you coming from? And what is the purpose of your trip? You can ask legally those 3 questions, no problem. Nothing says they have to answer you.
Yeah.
You can ask the question, but you can't make them answer you. Bear that in mind, guys. Don't start running off with the mouth, walk up on a car. You got drugs, you got guns. Why are you here? Who's that? No, it's a traffic stop for a taillight.
And don't delay issuing the warning just because you want to ask more questions.
You can't do that.
With no reasonable suspicion.
If you have no reasonable suspicion, you cannot delay to keep asking questions. Now, if stuff's not making sense,
yes,
then you can start asking more and more questions like,
right.
hey, this don't make sense. This answer you're giving me do not make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But if they can give you a reasonable explanation, you kind of have to kill it there.
Yeah.
Like, if it's a reasonable explanation you can verify, you kind of got to let it go.
Like, damn. And you're thinking, like, well, what else can I ask? But you're thinking so long to the point where it's like, okay, it's been like 25 minutes.
Unreasonable.
It's been 25 minutes.
It's unreasonable delay.
No computer issues.
Yep.
Like, no nothing. Like,
yep.
You take your 25 minutes to write a warning.
Yep. No, and any lawyer is going to be
because
like,
you just ran out of questions to ask because they were all answered sufficiently. It's done. You're not going to catch them all.
No.
If there was anything to catch in the beginning,
you would have caught it earlier.
And
if you don't, they got away that day.
Yeah, just let it go.
What it is.
Yeah.
And that lawyer, his defense lawyer, is going to get smart and pull all your stops. Well, your average stop is 3 to 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Why was my client stopped 25 minutes?
Yeah.
That's a hard one to answer.
Yeah.
Well, did you have anything? Well, I mean, I thought I did, but okay. But did you actually have reasonable suspicion, officer? No. Okay. Well, you illegally detained my client.
Mm-hmm.
You extended the stop. You can't extend the stop without reasonable suspicion at a minimum. You cannot extend the stop, and hopefully that reasonable suspicion turns into probable cause.
Yes.
But if you're not raising the level of criminal activity, but you're dispelling it, cut him loose.
Yeah.
It sucks. And he may have something in the car, and like, I know he had shit in the car, but you had nothing you can write down or articulate. It's a game.
Yeah.
He won today.
Mm-hmm.
He won. Let him go. He's got to win every single time.
Right.
We only got to win once.
Yeah.
So let him go. You'll get him another day. You can put a caution in the system. Like, hey, I had the feeling based on this and this and this, but I didn't have enough probable cause. You can put a warning in there. That's fine. You can do that. 100%. Let other officers down the road deal with it. You make it the officer that this guy was dumb enough to have a joint in the car, and now gives you legal reason to search the car, and bam, you got him because he got complacent and fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And I got him. But again, reasonable suspicion raises to probable cause or lowers to nothing. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
That's going to be based on totality of circumstances, what you were told, what you saw, what you smelled, what you felt, what you heard. Not taste. I can't stress that enough. Do not taste anything in this job. Wear 2 gloves. But don't extend yourself beyond your legal limits because of pride or ego. That officer in Florida, she's probably going to have a hard go. If these people want to sue, they can.
I think they
That's
did.
a
I think
bad
they
arrest.
did file a lawsuit.
And I don't blame them. On that one,
think-
I don't blame them. Because that's the only thing that's going to make the behavior stop. When departments have to pay money. And they're going to sit you down and, do you understand reasonable suspicion? Do you understand the law? Do you understand how to apply the law? If you don't, tell us now. We can correct this.
Mm-hmm.
But they just go blow it off and keeps going. The next lawsuit is going to have another 0 on it because you've already had this problem with this officer and you didn't do anything to correct it.
Yeah.
You didn't train. You didn't take them through any kind of remedial anything. You just said, hey, don't do it again.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you want to actually step up the training.
And the welfare check thing, like, welfare check falls under the community caretaking standard. So we have a set of things that we're supposed to follow under that. But once it shifts from, well, this officer started asking questions, had nothing to do with the welfare, now it's an investigatory detention.
It is.
And all the stuff for community caretaking went away, and now they're looking at it from a
criminal
Fourth
point of
Amendment
view.
seizure, investigatory detention set.
You're looking
And
at
it
now,
sucks.
You went from the scope of welfare check to the scope of criminal activity.
And it
What
sucks.
got you there?
Yeah. It sucks because now it's just a different standard. And then the thing is, well, what is it that led you to make an investigatory detention after checking on somebody's welfare?
Mm-hmm. What'd you see? What'd you smell? What'd you hear? What'd you feel? What did they
Yeah.
tell you? What'd you see in the car?
Yeah.
Did you smell the smell of anything?
And all that stuff has to be articulated.
And you better be able to articulate the hell out of it. And that's the only thing that will save you is articulation. Camera will not save you because camera footage can be suppressed. Your report can't be. So you better write it down like that camera footage is going to disappear because it could very well disappear in trial. And all you got's your report now. And you better pray that 2 years ago at 2 a.m, when you were tired and wanted to go home, you wrote a good report.
Yeah.
In other words, you understand your report's this long.
Yeah.
Oops. There's a lot of questions the defense attorney is going to ask you that you can't answer. You're like, yeah, oh shit, I don't know. He's going to be like, Your Honor, we'd like to dismiss this based on, no grounds of probable cause. And now you are there looking like a jackass.
Like a case in Texas here, man, I don't remember the name. I remember the details. I probably have to go home and look the case up. That way I can kind of keep, because I'm going to print that bad boy out. But pretty much it led to a DWI arrest because I don't know if it was Austin police officer or Travis County deputy or what have you, but they saw somebody throwing up out of a window, out of the passenger side window on the roadway.
A passenger side window.
So the officer makes the stop. And you go, because that's not normal. Somebody.
No, I mean, it's not normal.
Like,
you're going
so-
to check their welfare. You're
Right.
going to make sure they're okay.
Right. So, turns out the driver was drunk.
Okay.
The driver was drunk, but it all led from a welfare check stop.
That's
But it turned out that there was articulable facts that led the officer or the deputy to believe, or it could even be a trooper. It led them to believe that, hey, damn, the driver's intoxicated based off of smell, what they saw.
Well, I will tell you, if they're in the car and the passenger's barfing, maybe it's a passenger that smells like a brewery, pull the driver out. See
And
the
I think
smell
that's
of
what
it.
happened. And then everything was substantiated based off the driver's behavior. Like could have been slurred speech, all the signs of intoxication.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if there's SFSTs done or what have you like that.
But it sounds like a good case.
Yeah. And then just the to keep it like very like direct, not to like go off on a tangent. It was made off of a welfare check that wasn't even called in. Officer observance. It was on site. They observed the passenger throwing up out of the passenger side window. Stopped the vehicle. Welfare concern. Separated the passenger from the driver. Driver was found to be intoxicated. Arrested.
Good stop all day long. Good stop all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Because your first duty is to save lives.
Yeah.
And you see someone barfing, hey, check on them, make sure they don't need an ambulance. You can get the ambulance there quicker than they can get to the hospital or home, and just make sure they're okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out the driver's sober, and it's like, oh, they had too much drink on the DD, and the driver's sober. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Cut it loose.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
You know, okay. Just get home safely. I appreciate you being the DD.
You want to try to ID the passenger for public intoxication?
No. No. Hell no. They're in the car. They're in the car safely getting driven by a sober person. Call that a day. They're under the care of a sober person. Have a nice day. Have a nice day, sir. Take care. I am not going to stick my foot in that bear trap and get myself in trouble. Why? Cut them loose. Have a nice day. And a lot of officers, that their pride, their ego, I'm the law. Well, you can be the law when you lose your job and you get sued civilly for civil rights violation because I'm the law. We're not Judge Dredd. Okay, we have a very limited scope, and Supreme Court and the Constitution has given us a limited power for a good fucking reason. Mm-hmm. And that is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
We do not have absolute authority. We are not a dictatorship. We're not the brown shirts in Nazi Germany. We have very limited authority for a good fucking reason. Mm. And doubt should always sway towards the suspected person. Always. The doubt has to sway that way. Because I'd rather 10 guilty men went free than one innocent person suffer. Because one day that could be you.
Right, yeah.
And that's what a lot of people fail to recognize. You're a cop today, but you resigned, you got tired of the job, moved on to a different job. But then you get stopped by the cops, and all the shit you did comes back to fucking haunt you, and they're doing it to you. And you're like, well, hold on, wait it. You did to other people.
Yeah.
So it can be you one day, and that's a lot of people need to realize. It could be you one day. Bear that in mind. So I hope that the officers and listening to this had maybe their eyes opened a little bit.
Yeah.
I hope that citizens listening to this understand you do have rights. Don't just be an ass for the sake of being an ass, but you have the right to be an ass.
Yeah.
Nothing says you can't be. You have the right to a personal opinion.
Yeah.
I've been called every name under the sun, and I sleep like a baby. Face down naked, so you can all kiss my ass. But I don't violate your rights. You don't want to talk to me, and I have no reason to talk to you. I can't force you to. Have a nice day. Mm-hmm. It's not personal. It's not personal. This is what officers fail to realize and fail to think about. It is not personal. They have a job to do. Whether that's hating you or their job is to be a criminal, your job is to stop them. But it's not personal.
Right.
Do not make this, even getting kicked in the nuts by a suspect is not personal. Mm-hmm. He's trying to get away. Okay? You would too if you were a criminal. Think of it from that end. I'm not saying let him kick you in the balls. I'm saying it's not personal.
Yeah.
Don't make this shit personal. So we hope you understood that. We hope that you learned something from this. Don't get yourself in trouble. When in doubt, Charlie out. You know what? Have a good one.
Yeah.
It ain't worth the headache. He's a suspect. He's a criminal. You'll catch him another day. He'll do something stupid another time. I promise you. I promise you. Criminals always fuck up again. And you'll get him another day. And that'll be the day you got him lock, stock, no doubts. And you can look back and go, remember me from a month ago? I remember you. Got you today. Great. Write it up, book them in, and move on to the next call. Mm-hmm. So we hope you enjoyed today's show. We thought it was J-Man actually his idea on that topic, and I wholeheartedly agreed because a lot of officers do not understand reasonable suspicion and probable cause and articulation to raise or dispel the facts of criminal activity. A lot of officers don't understand that, and they get themselves in trouble. So we want you to understand your job, know your legal limit, your legal authority. That way you keep yourself out of trouble and you keep your agency from paying out money. And you have a long, healthy career. Mm-hmm. And you have good, solid criminal cases that defense lawyers even know your name go, that officer does his job. Shit. Because what people don't realize, and I've told you this before, is that lawyers have access to data banks where they put officers' information in there. Is he good to testify? Is he not so good? Does he get flustered easily? Good cases. They have access to that. And a lot of them will base whether they're going to take a plea bargain or go to trial based on solid officer, good testifier, not scared, writes good reports, da-da-da-da. And you're like, do you really want to try this?
Yeah.
A lot of that is because you're in your ability to write and articulate. Mm-hmm. So If you have questions for us, is there something you want us to talk about or something you weren't sure about, you can email us again at runnincode2023@gmail.com. And that's RUNNINCODE 2023@gmail.com. Or you may leave comments on the YouTube videos or audios. I don't think Buzzsprout has come out yet with the direct message feature. I have not seen anything on that yet, but I guess that's going to come at some point where you'll be able to message us directly. We may at some point actually start using Instagram, which may be an easier avenue for people to get a hold of us. I'm kind of an older school kind of guy, but I gotta adjust to the times. So, you guys be safe out there. Keep yourself out of trouble physically. Keep yourself out of trouble legally. Know your legal limits. Know case law. Know what you can and can't do. Know your agency policy. And if you do all that, you'll be fine. You'll be okay. At the end of the day, you'll be fine. Might be uncomfortable for a while, but you'll be okay.
Yeah.
So, J-Man, do you have anything to add today?
Nope.
I think we covered it.
Yeah.
I think we should call it a day.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, y'all take care of yourself. From J-Man and I here at Running Code in South Texas, we're out of here.
Yep.